Hello everyone, I'm back again. Yes, I'm your 39-year-old virgin talking about how it is I was able to maintain that status for these many years. And trust me, it wasn't easy. It might sound like it is, but it's not. Or maybe it doesn't sound like it is and it really isn't. Anyway, so my previous videos, I spoke about one of the reasons I was able to maintain my virginity was because I had decided at a very young age, I believe somewhere around 13 or earlier, or a little later, but around 13 for sure, that I would break generational curses because my mom had me out of wedlock. Secondly, I had very strict parents and I was not given opportunities in the very beginning of my time with my aunt who raised me to do anything other than follow the rules. And even later on, when I was able to do whatever, I had already made the choice that I wanted to be obedient. And so that leads me into the third reason why I'm still a virgin, and that is because I do not have a rebellious spirit, y'all. Listen, there are some females and brothers out here who are just like, I refuse to do whatever you say. When you say it, how you say it, I'm gonna go to the tune of my own drum. I'm not that one. Listen, I was afraid of butt whoopings, okay? I was afraid of being scolded. I did not like to have my parents disappointed in me, okay? And I had one experience in my life when I was in middle school. And, even before then, I was always like I'm a law-abiding citizen, okay? I like rules. I like to know when to do things, how to do things, why I'm doing things. But I needed explanation. And my aunt was the kind of guardian, when she told you what to do, she explained why you did it, and she explained what would happen if you didn't do it. Not just in the sense of you're getting, a disciplinary action towards you, but, what kind of consequences would bring if you committed a certain action, right? But I also was not of the spirit to rebel if I was told why I shouldn't do something, right? And even when I wasn't told, I did like to please people. I liked to have people happy with me. I didn't like people screaming at me, and that allowed me to want to please, right? And it kind of goes into one of the reasons why I'm a Seventh-day Adventist right now. If you are not aware, I am a Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh-day Adventist religion has a lot of do's and don'ts, a lot of rules and regulations, and I have no qualm with rules and regulations because that's how I'm set up. I like to have structure and discipline as an individual, so it just goes very well with my personality and character. So one of the reasons, again, is because I was not the kind of person who would rebel just because someone told me I couldn't and then I chose to do it because I was told not to. I was not that one. And when you have that kind of spirit where you listen, it is easier for you to do the things that God has asked you to do. I have realized in the course of my life that at first it wasn't me abiding by God's standards. I didn't really have a connection with God to know what he wanted or did not want from me per se. But I knew my aunt and I knew how much I loved her. I knew my dad. I knew how much I wanted him to understand that I loved him, right? And my parents, they were people who believed the only way you showed me love is with obedience. And my dad would say it all the time. Sometimes we would come to give him a present for his birthday and he would be like, I don't know if I should take that birthday gift because this whole week you were giving me hell. And now you want to tell me you love me with some gift and card. That action that you did last week where I had to scold you, that didn't show me you loved me. And with this card means nothing to me. That's the kind of parent that I had. They wanted you to show them affection through obedience. And lo and behold, so does the Lord, right? He says, if you love me, follow my commandments. And thankfully, I'm the child who likes to abide and obey and follow commands. And the thing for me, by the grace of God, is I had parents who also obeyed the law. See, I was raised by an aunt who did her best to be perfect. Like, I had not seen my aunt lie, cheat, speak ill of anyone. Like, I didn't see her, like, she was a law-abiding person, and so she showed me by example the importance of doing God's word, following rules and regulations, and doing the right thing, and what consequences you can get out of that. You can get respect, you can earn certain wages at work, you don't go to jail, like certain things that comes from obedience. And so I learned that. So being the fact that I was not a rebellious child, I liked to be obedient, and I liked to do what was good, right? I liked when someone said, "Good job, Nicolette," or "I really think you're such a good girl," or, like, I thrived on those things. And because that was my personality, it kind of helped me to continue to follow the rules even as I got older, knowing that as a young lady in college, 4 years away from home, right? I didn't have my aunt there to tell me what to do, what not to do. I didn't have my dad watching over me and, with his scowling face and like disappointing look when I did something wrong, right? Or my aunt to explain to me or direct me. I had to do things on my own, but I still liked the notion of doing what is right. I still knew the value of good reputation and, staying within the domain of what is correct and proper. Propriety was one of the things, especially in college, that I embraced wholeheartedly. Like how to be a young lady, how to behave, how to sit, how to walk, how to talk, right? I really embraced that towards the end of high school into college years. And I wanted to have this perfect presentation of a lady, and guys couldn't approach me a certain kind of way. My name couldn't be stated in everybody's name, right? I couldn't be seen with everyone. And all of these were because I had this kind of law that I had written for myself on how I wanted to be perceived and seen. All of that came from that obedience, right? Obedience to God, obedience to rules and regulations. Right? If a young lady dressed a certain way, they think of you a certain way. If you spoke a certain way, they think of you this way. And so I did not want anyone to think of me in any different way than I perceived myself. I was a good young lady. I was respectful. I was intelligent. I was law-abiding. I wanted anyone who knew me to think of me in those ways. So these were the laws, and those were the laws I abided by. So again, one of the reasons why I am still a virgin is because I am a law-abiding, right? I like to stay with what is right, what is good, whether it's from the commandments of God or it's the commandments of man. And I liked to just do what I'm told, right? And sadly, those people who have more of a rebellious spirit, it's harder for them to do what is right. And if what is right is to remain a virgin, they're not going to do that because they want to defy any rule and regulation. They don't want anyone telling them what to do. That's a problem. But that comes from your personality. So if you have that rebellious personality, that stubborn spirit, know that God says that a stubborn spirit is like unto witchcraft. So you have to pray to God to help you break that curse of stubbornness, right? Because it won't do you good. I know people who've been told the right thing. They know it's the right thing, but because it comes from the mouth of a person they don't like or from someone else, they refuse. And I understand the notion and inclination, but it's bad for you. So whether you're a parent dealing with a child that way, if you know they have a rebellious spirit, you have to pray for them, because God forbid, one of these days, you're just going to do something wrong for the sake of doing the thing that is wrong. Not because they're pushed, not because they even like it, but because they want to defy. And if you're the person with that spirit, you have to pray about it so that God can help you be more obedient to his word and to the words of those who advise you, who are, doing it for your own good, right? So I hope this was helpful to someone who's struggling with wanting to do the right thing, wanting to stay within God's word. Just pray that God gives you a spirit of obedience. Thank you for listening. Love you. Bye.